Why don't we ever want to play hide and seek with languages? Because good luck when Greek and Spanish decide to hide together. You'll never tell them apart. Now, isn't that a fun thought? You see, Greek and Spanish can be quite the doppelgangers to the untrained ear, and in this video, we're going to sleuth out the reasons behind this fascinating linguistic resemblance. So, are you ready to dive into the world of linguistic similarities? Buckle up! Ever heard of the term phonetics? It's all about the sounds in languages. Now, when it comes to Greek and Spanish, you might be surprised to discover that they share quite a bit of phonetic common ground. For starters, both languages have a similar set of consonants and vowels. In both Greek and Spanish, the letters P, T, K, B, D, G, F, V, T, S, Z, M, N, L, R, and H are pronounced in remarkably similar ways. The vowels are no exception either. The 5 vowel sounds of A, E, I, O, and U in Spanish have their Greek counterparts too. But it's not just the individual sounds that ring a bell. It's also about rhythm. You see, Spanish and Greek are both stress-timed languages. This means that the rhythm of a sentence is determined by the placement of stress on certain syllables rather than the syllables themselves. This creates a certain musicality, a distinctive cadence that is shared by both languages. So when a Spanish speaker hears Greek, or vice versa, they might find the sounds and rhythms strangely familiar. It's like hearing a song in a different language that still manages to strike a chord. Hence, if you've ever wondered why Greek sounds like Spanish or why Spanish sounds like Greek, remember, it's not just about the words themselves. It's also about how those words are pronounced and the rhythm they create. So, it's not just what you say, but how you say it that makes these languages sound so alike. Did you know that both Greek and Spanish have words that sound the same and have the same meaning? It's quite fascinating, really. Both languages share a number of common words that are phonetically similar and share the same meaning. This is largely due to the influence of Latin and other linguistic intersections throughout history. Take the word angel, for instance. In Greek, it's pronounced angelos, while in Spanish, it's angel. Or consider the word drama, which is spelled and pronounced the same way in both languages. Another example is idea, pronounced idea in Greek and idea in Spanish. But it's not just common words. There are also common expressions. For example, the phrase me too is ki ego in Greek and yo también in Spanish. These shared words and phrases add a layer of familiarity between the two languages, making them sound uncannily similar. Just like a shared secret language, right? Latin, the mother of many languages, and a big influence on both Greek and Spanish. It's an intriguing fact that Latin, the ancient language of the Romans, has significantly shaped these two languages and many others. Now, Greek is an older language than Latin, but its lexicon has been enriched by Latin during the Roman Empire. Spanish, on the other hand, is a Romance language, directly descended from Latin. As such, it carries a hefty Latin DNA in its vocabulary and grammar. So, when you hear a Greek word that sounds like Spanish, there's a good chance that it's a Latin loanword that has found its way into both languages. Even some of the phonetic similarities can be traced back to Latin's influence. It's like Latin played the role of a linguistic matchmaker, bringing Greek and Spanish closer together in terms of sound and structure. Latin always making its mark, isn't it? Ever thought about how we arrange our words in a sentence? Greek and Spanish have something in common there too. Now let's dive into the realm of sentence structure, a potent tool that shapes the rhythm and sound of a language. Both Greek and Spanish share a similar sentence structure. In essence, they are both subject-verb-object languages. This means that the typical sentence in both languages starts with the subject, followed by the verb, and ends with the object. Such as I drink water in English translates to yo bebo agua in Spanish and ego pino nero in Greek. Now, isn't that interesting? This shared structure not only contributes to their similar rhythm when spoken, but it also makes it easier for speakers of one language to understand and learn the other. So it's not just about the words, but also their arrangement that counts. History has a funny way of leaving its mark, even on languages. Greek influence on Spanish is a fascinating case in point. When we delve into the annals of history, we find that Greek and Spanish have had a lot of interactions. The Hellenistic period, a time of Greek cultural dominance, saw a significant influx of Greek words into the Spanish vocabulary. From architecture to philosophy, Greek culture left a deep imprint on the Spanish language. Take the Spanish word escuela for school. It's a direct descendant of the Greek word scola. Another example is the Spanish word teatro. which traces back to the Greek theatron. The Greek language also influenced Spanish phonetics. Some Spanish sounds, like the J in jota, are reminiscent of sounds in the Greek language. It's these shared phonetic characteristics that often make Greek and Spanish sound alike to the untrained ear. History, a silent sculptor of languages. So, we've discovered some fascinating linguistic connections today. We've journeyed through the shared phonetics of Greek and Spanish, uncovering the similar sounds that make these languages feel like long-lost siblings. We've delved into their shared vocabulary, a testament to the intertwined histories and cultures that have shaped these languages over centuries. We've traced the influence of Latin, the grandparent language, and how its echoes resonate in both Greek and Spanish. We've analyzed their similar sentence structures, revealing the shared grammatical blueprints these languages use to express ideas. Finally, we've explored the historical interactions between Greece and Spain, unearthing the subtle Greek influences on the Spanish language. Each of these points, in its own way, contributes to why Greek and Spanish sound so alike to our ears. Next time you hear Greek or Spanish, remember, they're not just languages, they're echoes of history and culture. Until next time, keep exploring the world of languages.